After enduring a long and painful labor, I finally gave birth to our child. Looking forward to holding my much-anticipated baby, I noticed the midwives conferring with troubled expressions. Could something be wrong with the baby? I couldn't believe my ears when one of the midwives approached and said, "The baby has dark skin. It seems there might be non-white ancestry." My name is Christine. I'm 25 years old. Alden, my husband, and I are approaching our 3rd wedding anniversary. Having lost my parents in an accident a few years ago, Alden is the only family I have left. But things between us haven't been great lately. Lately, Alden often comes home late, claiming he's busy with work and barely spends time at home during weekends. Our moments together started decreasing, and he hardly spoke to me anymore. I was deeply bothered by Alden's distant behavior. "Hey, did I do something wrong? If I upset you, please tell me," I said one day to Alden. But Alden just brushed it off.
"No, it's nothing. I'm just tired from work,"
avoiding eye contact. "But you've been so distant. If I'm at fault, I want to fix it," I pressed. Alden sighed.
"You know, being constantly questioned like this is really annoying."
I was devastated hearing him say that. From then on, I couldn't bring myself to talk about his behavior, and the days just went by. However, a few weeks later, Alden suddenly suggested going on a trip.
"How about a weekend getaway to a national park? I could probably take time off work."
Having been distant for so long, Alden's proposal was a pleasant surprise. "I'd love to. Why the sudden change of heart?"
"Sometimes I just want to spend time with you,"
he admitted. Tears welled up in my eyes. I was secretly hoping that this trip might bring us closer again.
"This hotel has a great bar on the top floor. Want to stay here?"
Alden said as he showed me the hotel's website. It featured a photo of a cozy-looking bar. "It looks great. Let's go there." So we decided on a weekend getaway to the national park. On the day of the trip, after a day of sightseeing, we checked into the hotel. After a luxurious dinner, we headed to the bar on the top floor. It offered a beautiful panoramic view. "It's even better than the photos. Thanks for bringing me here," I told Alden, who smiled warmly in response.
"Let's make the most of tonight. How about a drink, Christine?"
Taking Alden's suggestion, I ordered a fruity cocktail. Feeling the happiness of sharing this moment with Alden made my heart full. I thought maybe things between us could be like before. As I sipped my drink, an overwhelming drowsiness suddenly overtook me. My head became cloudy and my vision blurred.
"Christine, are you okay? Did the drink hit you?"
Alden, noticing my state, looked concerned. "It's strange. I barely drank, but I'm so sleepy."
"You're probably tired from the day. I'll carry you to the room, and you can rest,"
Alden offered, and I nodded in agreement. It's odd. I've always held my liquor well. I soon fell into a deep sleep. When I woke up the next morning, Alden was already up.
"Good morning, Christine. Did you sleep well?"
"Morning. I don't remember much from last night. I didn't do anything weird, did I?" As I yawned, Alden grinned.
"Don't remember. You slept soundly, that's for sure."
Alden seemed unusually cheerful, which puzzled me a bit. But maybe he just needed this refreshing break. Good for him. With that thought, I didn't find anything odd about his behavior. Filled with happiness, we concluded our trip. 2 months after our vacation, Alden's work kept him away, but our conversations increased noticeably. On weekends, we'd sometimes go out together. The concerns about Alden's attitude were behind me. However, despite the reduced stress, I started feeling off. A persistent low-grade fever and daily nausea concerned me. Did I catch a cold? I decided to see a doctor. There, I was met with surprising news.
"Congratulations, you're pregnant."
Stunned, I just stared with my mouth agape. Wait, pregnant? I never expected such joyous news following the mending of our relationship. Having always wanted a child, I was elated. When Alden returned from work, I eagerly shared the news with him. "Alden, I'm pregnant." With a big smile on my face, I shared the news. Alden, taken aback for a moment, quickly responded with a smile.
Really? That's great. We better take good care of yourself.
However, I felt something was off in Alden's reaction. His words seemed forced, almost rehearsed.
I think I'll have more free time soon. I'll be there to support you.
My happiness overshadowed my doubts, and they faded. Alden started coming home early, as he promised. He began helping with chores, and was particularly considerate about my health.
Are you feeling okay, Christine?
I'm totally fine, especially with you helping out so much. Thank you. Day by day, I felt content with Alden's unwavering support. Eventually, we learned we were expecting a boy. My excitement made me browse baby boy clothes and toys online almost daily. Even though it might have been a little early, the joy of expecting a child with a loved one was overwhelming. 9 months passed, then the day came. With the start of my contractions, Alden, my parents-in-law, and I rushed to the hospital. Enduring what felt like an eternity of pain, I held on. After what must have been hours, I suddenly felt a decrease in the pain. And then, I heard the baby's cry. He's healthy and he's here. Relief washed over me and I felt my strength leave my body. With my eyes closed, I waited for the midwife to say, "You have a healthy baby boy." But no words came from her. Instead, I could hear the midwives in the delivery room whispering, sounding puzzled. Was there something wrong with the baby? My face turned pale. But the next words from the midwife were beyond anything I could have imagined.
Excuse me for asking, but your husband is Caucasian, right?
Caught off guard by the unexpected question, I replied, "Yes, my husband is Caucasian and there's no history of any foreign ancestry in our families." The midwife hesitated. Is there something wrong with the baby?" As I asked hesitantly, the midwife finally spoke.
The baby has dark skin. I believe there might be non-Caucasian blood.
Dark skin? I was in shock, trying to comprehend what she was saying. But when the midwife showed me my child, it was undeniable. The baby's skin was dark, clearly indicating mixed race ancestry. How was this possible? I was completely bewildered. Suddenly, angry shouts from outside the room broke the silence.
What did you do, Christine? Did you have an affair? Answer me.
It seemed the midwife had shared the situation with my father-in-law, and he was now banging on the delivery room door.
Please, she just gave birth. Calm down.
The midwife tried to control the situation. After his voice faded, Alden entered the room, his face expressionless. "Alden, it's not what you think. I swear I didn't do anything." As I pleaded, Alden looked at me and coldly said,
"So, you had an affair. But you got lonely while I was working. We're getting a divorce, and I'll make sure to claim damages."
Alden looked at me with a cold expression, but to my astonishment, a chilling smile appeared on his face. Alden was laughing. "Alden?" The moment I called his name, his expression returned to its former coldness.
Just leave everything to the lawyers, and never show your face to me again.
With that, Alden left the delivery room. Why? Why is this happening? I've never had an affair. I have no memories of any indiscretions, not even in a drunken state. I never even dined out alone when Alden was away for work. Felt like my mind was a whirlwind. Why? Why is this happening? All I could do was clutch my head in overwhelming confusion. Subsequent DNA testing confirmed that the baby wasn't Alden's. Upon my discharge from the hospital, Alden immediately presented me with divorce papers.
"Once I gather evidence of your affair, expect to pay for it,"
he said coldly. After that, he left our home. The house was under Alden's name, which meant I'd soon need to leave too. How did it come to this? This can't be right. Desperate for answers, I thoroughly researched every possible explanation for my baby's skin color. Could it be a genetic mutation? Maybe a distant relative from a different race? But no matter what I discovered, the DNA results remained a significant barrier. Every day was a struggle, unable to prove my innocence. As I raised my baby, whose father remained unknown, I spent my days crying. To make matters worse, my in-laws barged into my house daily, hurling insults and accusations at me.
"You ungrateful wretch, after all the sympathy and support we gave you after your parents' death, you repay us with this."
I didn't do anything. Why doesn't anyone believe me? No one believed a word I said, and my spirit was nearing its breaking point. 2 weeks had passed since Alden left our home. There was no contact from him, even though he'd said he would gather evidence before demanding compensation, and for good reason. I hadn't committed any infidelity, so there would be no evidence to find. Lately, I had begun to harbor doubts about Alden. The smile he showed in the delivery room just didn't sit right with me. Could Alden be behind all this? No, that's impossible, right? If Alden had plotted something, I had no clue why or how he would. I shook my head, trying to shake off the absurd thoughts. Maybe some fresh air would help clear my mind. Come to think of it, I haven't really been out much lately. I've been living in fear, worried that the news had spread in the neighborhood, or that I might run into my in-laws. If I stayed cooped up any longer, I'd just sink deeper into despair. So I decided to take my baby out in his stroller. The sky was a clear blue, and the fresh air felt revitalizing. It felt like ages since I last stepped outside. If I knew it would be this refreshing, I would have done this earlier. Lost in those thoughts, I took a walk in a quiet park. In the stroller, my baby was sound asleep. You did nothing wrong. I'm sorry you got tangled in our issues, I whispered, gently caressing my baby's head. Having completed a lap around the park and feeling thirsty, I decided to step into a nearby cafe. I settled into a seat that I was shown to and ordered an orange juice. As I took a moment to breathe, a familiar voice from the seat directly behind me reached my ears.
So fabricating evidence isn't as easy as you thought. I want to claim as much compensation as possible, so just wait a bit longer. If we register our marriage too soon, they'll discover our affair.
I was paralyzed with shock, feeling as if time had stopped. The voice unmistakably belonged to Alden. On instinct, I quickly activated the voice recorder on my cell phone. Then a woman's voice followed Alden's. Considering the potential legal consequences, it's a risky game, having her drugged and assaulted by another man during a trip. That's clearly criminal. Alden, you do think of wild schemes. And to potentially get compensation without our affair being discovered? Brilliant.
Yup, waving a bunch of money in front of a guy got me an immediate yes. Getting the sleeping pills was the challenging part.
What? He had me assaulted by another man? My heart pounded deafeningly. Looking back at the trip Alden and I took, everything began to make sense. My husband, who hadn't come home for days, suddenly suggested a trip. Even though I can hold my liquor well, after having just one drink, I was overwhelmed by an intense drowsiness. All the pieces fit, and a nauseating realization hit me. Alden had deceived me, tricking me into carrying another man's child, and played the role of a good husband right up to the birth. And he didn't even care about the fate of the child about to be born. Barely suppressing my urge to confront him there and then, I clenched my fists. Alden, I will never forgive you. Boiling with rage, I clenched my fists tightly. I waited for the two of them to leave the cafe and managed to snap a photo of them. With that, I headed straight to the police station. Can you please listen to this? The overwhelmed me didn't know where to start, my voice shaking. Although initially surprised, the policeman promptly escorted me further inside. After listening to the entire recording, a compassionate policewoman said, "Must have been tough, being accused of something you didn't remember and no one believing you. It's okay now. Leave this to us." Tears welled up in my eyes. Thank you so much. Days later, the police, armed with the evidence, issued arrest warrants for Alden and the man he had involved. Policemen apparently stormed the residence where Alden was living with his mistress. Immediately after, Alden called me.
Hey, Christine, what the hell is going on? There are policemen at our house. It's you who had an affair, right? Just because you don't want to pay compensation, you pull a stunt like this?
Alden ranted over the phone. From behind Alden, I could hear a voice desperately trying to calm him down, saying,
"Put your phone down."
It was probably one of the policemen. Alden, probably shaking off the officer, continued shouting, with sounds of a struggle reaching me. Who played dirty here? Your actions were clearly criminal, and you didn't think about the life being brought into this due to your selfish desires. You're just despicable. In a fiery retort, I shot back, and Alden continued to shout, his voice almost breaking. Feeling almost on the brink of insanity, his voice became so garbled I could hardly understand what he was saying. Then a loud crash echoed, and suddenly the other end of the phone line went silent. Curious, I strained my ears to listen. After a brief pause, I heard a policeman's voice.
What the heck are you doing? This is obstruction of justice. No, I didn't mean to.
Alden's voice trembled.
You've got blood on your head. Get him to the hospital now. Hey, you, settle down.
The policeman yelled at Alden. It seemed that Alden had shoved the policeman, causing an injury.
No, I haven't laid a finger on Christine. I didn't do anything. I'm innocent, right?
Alden sounded desperate, but the policeman swiftly shut him down.
You tried to deceive the victim and claim compensation, right? That's a clear fraud. We're arresting you on charges of fraud. No, I didn't mean to commit fraud. It's true, believe me. You have the right to remain silent. Do you waive that right?
The officer recited, ignoring Alden's pleas.
Wait, I only wanted a smooth divorce. I never imagined it would come to this.
Alden's voice was pitifully shaky.
Come on, Christine, help me out, please. I apologize, okay? Deep down, I truly love you. Let's start over and then we can surely...
I felt something snap within me as Alden continued. I never want to have anything to do with you again. Reflect on your actions behind bars.
Hey, Christine, wait, Christine!
I hung up without waiting for his response. In the corner of my room, my baby was peacefully asleep. Following the incident, the biological father of the child and Alden were quickly arrested. At the trial, Alden faced multiple charges, including fraud, drugging me with sleeping pills, and orchestrating the entire scheme. It seems he's destined to spend the rest of his life behind bars. On top of that, Alden was ordered to pay me a lump sum as compensation, and his wages from prison work would be garnished. In a twist, the other woman was also arrested. The voice recording I provided had captured her voice, and the testimony from the arrested man made it clear she had assisted Alden in his crimes. And so, all three who deceived me faced legal consequences, bringing closure to the incident. The child born as a result of this event was decided to be given up for adoption through the Child Welfare Agency. It seems the arrested man's home country has strict religious views on pregnancy and abortion. When he eventually leaves prison and returns to his home country, he'll likely face severe repercussions. I was reassured that the baby would be raised in a distant place, far removed from all this drama. On my end, I decided to return to my late parents' hometown. After Alden's arrest, my in-laws deeply apologized and proposed we live together, but I wanted nothing to do with them anymore. Surrounded by familiar faces and places, I yearned to heal my emotional wounds. Now, enveloped by childhood friends and distant relatives I hadn't seen in years, I'm enjoying peaceful days. I hope someday to meet someone who truly loves me and build a warm family together.